danger of drawing conclusions from extremes. Be careful who you admire, be careful who you scorn, because extreme stories, billionaires, or bankrupts are usually fueled by extreme levels of luck or risk, and those can't be copied. If you want real wisdom, look at broad patterns, not flashy headlines. Want a better life? Study what's common, not what's extreme. 10. Teach this to your children and yourself. When Gates gave a speech at his alma mater, he said, if there had been no Lakeside, there would have been no Microsoft. That's humility. That's respect for luck. And he understood the other side of it, Kent's side. In a letter to his son, the author wrote, realize that not all success is due to hard work, and not all poverty is due to laziness. Remember that when judging others, and remember it when judging yourself. 11. Why this lesson could save your financial life. When things are going well, you're not invincible. And when life punches you in the gut, don't give up. You may have just landed on the wrong side of risk. The trick, stay in the game. Don't let one loss wipe you out. Don't let one win make you blind. Because ultimately, nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. Chapter 3. Never enough. When rich people do crazy things. Let me tell you a story. Not just any story. This one has billionaires, ambition, greed, and the kind of quiet truth that can either save your future or destroy everything you've worked for. At a lavish party on Shelter Island, author Kurt Vonnegut turns to his friend Joseph Heller, the man behind Catch-22, and says, the host of this party, a hedge fund manager, made more money yesterday than you've made in your entire career. Heller smiles. His answer is short, disarming, and profound. Yes, but I have something he will never have. Enough. That one word, enough, feels like lightning in the brain. It forces us to confront something many people spend their whole lives avoiding. When does more stop adding value and start becoming dangerous? The hidden disease of never having enough. We live in a culture obsessed with more. More money, more followers, more influence. But more is a moving target. And without a clear line of enough, we risk crossing into a territory where logic fades and madness takes the wheel. Let's go beyond philosophy. Let's talk about two real people, both of them rich beyond imagination, who risked it all for just a little more. The rise and fall of Rajat Gupta, the boy who reached the top. Rajat Gupta started life in Kolkata, India, orphaned young, born into poverty. If life were a baseball game, most people start on first or second base. Gupta couldn't even see the stadium lights. And yet, he fought. He studied. He climbed. By his 40s, he became the CEO of McKinsey & Company, the world's most powerful consulting firm. By 2008, he was worth $100 million. He could have retired peacefully. He could have lived 10 lifetimes on that fortune. But Gupta didn't want to be rich. He wanted to be a billionaire. Surrounded by the elite at Goldman Sachs, he saw wealth not as security, but as a scoreboard. Then came the moment that changed everything. In 2008, Warren Buffett was about to invest $5 billion into Goldman Sachs during the financial crisis. Gupta, privy to this insider info as a board member, hung up the call and within 16 seconds phoned hedge fund manager Raj Rajaratnam. Soon after, Rajaratnam made $1 million. Later, he'd make $17 million. Gupta went to prison. So did Rajaratnam. Their empires collapsed in shame. Why risk everything for a bit more? Because he didn't know when to stop. Because he didn't have enough. Bernie Madoff, a millionaire who chose to lie. Before Bernie Madoff became the face of the largest Ponzi scheme in history, he was already a massive success. He ran a respected firm that traded nearly 10% of the daily volume on the New York Stock Exchange. His business made tens of millions annually. He was rich, powerful, admired. But it wasn't enough, so he lied. He schemed. And when it all came crashing down in 2008, the devastation was biblical. Families ruined, fortunes erased, reputations lost forever. Again. Why? Because he let greed point his logic. He didn't know when to say stop. The madness of risking everything for more. Here's what you must understand. Gupta and Madoff weren't poor men trying to survive. They were rich men gambling their lives, names, and legacies for more that they didn't need. And this isn't just about criminals. It happens in legal boardrooms and behind clean desks too. Take long-term capital management, a hedge fund run by Nobel Prize-winning geniuses. They were already swimming in money, their own millions tied into their trades. But they got greedy. They took on massive risk. And in 1998, during one of the strongest economies in history, they lost everything. As Warren Buffett put it, to make money they didn't have and didn't need, they risked what they did have and did need. And that's foolish. Foolish and tragically common, the quiet power of contentment. Here's the gut punch. Most people reading this, maybe you, will at some point in life earn enough to live well, to travel, to own a home, to provide for your family, to save, and even to give back. But when you don't define your enough, you start playing a game you can't win. You start comparing. You start chasing. And eventually, you may risk everything for a prize that will never satisfy. The urgent lesson. In a world shouting more, the bravest word is enough. Because enough isn't about settling. It's about sanity. It's about freedom from the trap of endless comparison. It's about protecting your wealth, your values, your future, and your peace of mind. Let their stories be your warning. Let that one word be your shield against a life of empty chasing. Because if you don't know what enough looks like, you'll never see the edge until it's too late.
Part 1.
Illusion of More, Why the Goalpost Never Stops Moving, inspired by The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. The gleam of his new sports car, the $500,000 paycheck. In the eyes of most Americans, he's made it to the top 1%. But there's one problem. He's sharing the dugout with Mike Trout. Mike Trout, with his $430 million contract, his private jet, his Beverly Hills estate, and a bank account that makes the rookie's $500,000 look like lunch money. The rookie doesn't feel rich anymore. In fact, he feels behind. Now hold that thought. Because Mike Trout, one of the greatest to ever play the game, probably compares himself to someone else too. A hedge fund manager, perhaps, who earned $340 million in a single year. That's nearly 10 times Trout's income, and all while sitting in a Manhattan office wearing tailored suits and sipping $200 scotch. But it doesn't stop there. That hedge fund manager, he's scanning the list of the top 5 in his industry, each of whom made over $770 million that same year. Suddenly, $340 million doesn't seem like much. And those elite fund managers? They might glance over at Warren Buffett, who made $3.5 billion in 2018 alone. And if Warren Buffett ever looks upward, he sees Jeff Bezos. In that same year, Bezos' net worth increased by $24 billion. That's $2.7 million an hour. Let that sink in. While the rookie is amazed by his first paycheck, Bezos could buy the entire stadium he plays in every single hour. Here's the brutal truth. No matter who you are, someone is always ahead. This is the deadly game of social comparison, and it's one you can never, ever win. It's not a contest. It's a treadmill. And the faster you run, the faster it moves. The more you earn, the more you notice others earning more. The better your home, the more you notice someone else's penthouse. The moment you level up, the bar shifts, and it never stops. A close friend once told me a story from a trip to Las Vegas. He asked a card dealer, "Which games do you play? Where do you go to win?" The dealer didn't flinch. The only way to win in Vegas, because there is no finish line in the game of comparison. There is only exhaustion, envy, and disappointment dressed as ambition. Now let me ask you something personal. Have you ever looked at your life, your job, your home, your savings, and felt inadequate? Not because you didn't have enough, but because someone else had more. If so, you're not alone. But you are standing at a crossroads. You can either continue chasing someone else's idea of success, or you can step off the treadmill and redefine wealth on your terms. You can choose contentment over comparison. You can choose enough over endless. And if you do, you may discover a kind of freedom that billionaires are still searching for. Urgency isn't about chasing what others have. It's about realizing